Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you my everyday makeup routine. I'm starting out with the Mario Badescu Cucumber Aloe Facial Spray. I just spray this all over my face and let that soak in. I find that it really helps hydrate my skin and get it ready for primer before foundation. For primer, I'm using the Milani Prime Perfection Face Primer. It's good for hydrating and filling in those pores and fine lines. So I just take it with my fingers and I like to press in, rub it around, but I try to press it into my pores because I feel like that fills them in better. I love this stuff, but I feel like it kind of has a weird smell. Next, I'm taking my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade Tawny and a Real Techniques Beauty Blender. I'm just dotting that all over my face. And this shade is a little dark for me, but I always wear my foundations a shade or two darker, and then I just blend down my neck. As you can see, I always start out with blending down my neck so I know that I don't miss any spots. And then I'm just speeding this up because you guys all know how to blend in your foundation. So I'm just speeding this up as I blend. I make sure I blend into the hairline. Next, I'm using Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Sand, putting that under my eyes, down the center of my nose, on my chin, and the center of my forehead, blending that out with the same beauty blender. Next, I'm using the Anastasia foundation stick in the shade Fawn to contour. This is a wonderful contour shade. It's such a good gray tone, so it looks very natural and it's so easy to blend in, as you can see on my forehead. I also blend that back into my hairline. Next, I'm going in with the LA Girl loose powder in the shade Banana Yellow, taking a dry beauty blender. I think it's the L'Oreal sponge. Couldn't get it open. And I'm using that to set my under eyes and all the places I put the Tarte Shape Tape. Next, I'm taking this brush and the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 15 Light, and I'm just using that brush to lightly set all the areas where I didn't put the LA Girl powder. My face gets very oily, so it's very necessary for me to make sure I have everything set, especially with all those cream products. Also blending that down my neck because we did put foundation there. Now I'm just blending away the loose powder without adding any of the Fit Me powder to the brush. Next, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette, taking the gray shade and contouring. I use this with a slanted face brush and I just blend it more up towards my cheeks because I like to wear a more natural blush and I like my cheeks to just be more bronzed. Also, I like a natural nose contour, so I'm just taking the side of that brush, going down my nose and underneath my lip. Then I'm taking one of the more brown shades in the palette, more warmer shades, and bronzing up, contouring my forehead. Next, I'm taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer a cult favorite, and using a big fluffy brush just to bronze up my cheeks and my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin. Got something in my eye there. I was also listening to music while I was filming this. Next, I'm just taking a spoolie on the end of an old eyebrow pencil and brushing my brows out. I'll be using the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Deep Dark Brown. I use an angled brush for this, but my pomade's pretty dried out, so I just spray the brush with a little bit of Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. It just makes it a little bit more wet. And I skipped through one brow because it's easier just to see this one. So I start in the middle of my brow and then do the tail, and then without adding any more product to the brush, I blend it towards the beginning. You guys don't want to have a block brow. You would make sure the front is very natural. As you can see, it's not as dark as the rest of my brow. It's kind of like a gradient effect. Then I'm taking the two matte shades in that contour palette I used on my face to set my concealer foundation that I put on my eyes. I don't use eye primer. As I do my foundation and my concealer, I also blend it onto my eyes. I find that creates enough of a base for my eyeshadows. So I'm just setting it with this. Still singing. Then I'm taking the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette in the shade Silk Cream as my transition shade. Trying to fix the messy bun. Couldn't do it. Then I'm going to take a smaller... Oh, no, I'm still blending the transition. Alright, there we go with the smaller blending brush. And I'm taking a slightly darker shade than Silk Cream in this palette to blend right below where we put the first transition shade. You want to make sure you do this so all of your eyeshadows look blended and there's no harsh lines. Next, I'm just taking a brownish reddish shade, not too dark, and putting that on the outer corners of my eye. Blending that up to the crease. Still using the same palette. Here I'm just taking a clean, fluffy brush, blending out all those harsh lines. Now I'm just taking the transition shades that we used in the crease, blending those under underneath my lash line with the top of a flat shader brush. No matter what eye look I'm doing, I always put a shadow underneath my eyes. Now I'm just taking that dark reddish shade with a slanted, semi-fluffy brush, and you can tell when I do it my other eye that I focus that more on the lash line, outer corner, almost like a wing, but then I blend it in. And that's me trying to show you guys the brush that I was using. After this, I'm taking the last shade in the first row in that palette, kind of a pinky champagne-y color, and putting that on my lid. With foiled or shimmer shadows, I tend to just use my finger because I feel like it works best. Here I am just blending. Then I'm using this shade as my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. Checking myself out. Then I'm using the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer in the shade Deep Brown. This is just a gel, a tinted eyebrow gel with fibers in it, and that helps fill in any gaps that I missed and also holds everything in place. Here I'm using a JCat Beauty eyeliner. I'm not sure of the shade. I think it's deep brown or chocolate, one or the other. And I'm using this to line just my top lash line. And it doesn't have to be perfect because later in the video I go in with a thin brush and powder and blend everything out. I don't like to use liquid liner because I feel like that looks too harsh. So I normally just use a gray or brown eyeliner on top and bottom, smoke it out a little bit, and I think that's what looks best on my eyes for a more natural look. Now if I'm doing a more intense look, I will use liner. Here is the brush with the eyeshadow. The brown eyeshadow I'm using is one in the Jaclyn Hill palette, just to go over it. Also sets the eyeliner, makes it stay longer throughout the day. And I know I do pull up my eyes when I do this, but it's just habit and I'm used to doing it. I love this mascara. I'm using the Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara. This also has lengthening fibers in it. It's like $4.99. You can get it at Ulta. My favorite Christmas present that I got this year is the Tarte Ultimate Blush Palette, and I'm using the shade Angelic. This palette has 10 of the Amazonian clay blushes in it from Tarte, and it's so good. I'm pretty sure it was limited edition though, so I'm not sure if they still have it. You can check Ulta or Sephora. And the highlighter that I'm using is the top 2 highlighter shades from that same Makeup Revolution palette we used to contour with. This is my first time trying it out, so I was seeing how I liked it. I liked it on the cheeks. Down the bridge of the nose, it was fine. But for my Cupid's bow, I wasn't feeling it. So I reached for my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. And then I just take a brush and blend that all out. Decided to put a little bit of highlighter on my chin. Here's a close-up of the eye look. Here I'm using a Wet n Wild Gel lip liner. I'm not sure of the shade. Just to line my lips. These lip liners are so creamy and so easy to work with. They stay so well. I highly recommend them. They're like $1 or $2 or $3 from the drugstore. Highly recommend. And then this is a Smashbox Be Legendary lipstick in the shade Addition. It's just a nudie pinky brown shade. Okay guys, that's it for my everyday makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you're notified when I post videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.